Okay, and here's another recipe that you might like to do. I gave you the recipe in written form, but let me just walk you through it very quickly. It's to make granola. Now, granola was originally one of the first cereals that was made as a way for a quick and easy breakfast, and it still is that way. And this one is a really easy recipe. What I'm going to do is first I start off with I think this is a 4 cup, yep, a 4 cup liquid measuring cup that can go in the microwave. I'm going to put in 3/4 a cup of brown sugar. I just dump that all in. And then I'm going to add 1/4 of water. So that's a ratio of 3 parts sugar to 1 part water. If I had 1 to 1, that would be called a simple syrup. That's what you get whenever you get sugar or syrups in your coffee, like at Starbucks or whatever. It's called a classic syrup or a simple syrup. When you have 2, it's called a heavy syrup. When you have 2 parts sugar to 1 part water, but we're doing 3 parts sugar to 1 part water, and the idea is just to melt the sugar so that way we can pour it over the oatmeal. I'll be back in a minute. I said I'd be back in 1 minute. Honestly, I was back in 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes, that brown sugar and that water has turned into this wonderful, caramely, wonderful syrup. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of vanilla, and I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Don't be surprised if when you put the vanilla in, it bubbles up just a little bit, because it can have a little bit of a chemical reaction there. But I'm putting 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You remember how we measured that? So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and stir this around. And then I'm going to pour that over 8 cups of oatmeal. Now, this oatmeal, I'm using old-fashioned. You don't have to. You can use whatever oatmeal you have on hand. You can do gluten-free. Oats by itself is gluten-free, but it's often processed in plants that have wheat or other kinds of gluten-rich grains. And so because of that, if you have celiacs in your family or people who are trying to be gluten-free, you'll need to go ahead and make sure that you get the gluten-free variety. So what I'm doing now is I'm stirring this over the top. So it's my syrup over 8 cups. If you wanted to add dried fruit, if you want to add nuts, if you want to add coconut, if you want to add other things to your granola, this would be a great time to do it. You can change the spices. You can add cinnamon. You could melt peanut butter in with your syrup and put that in and make peanut butter granola. You can pretty much, this is a very basic recipe. Cool thing is at this point it has no fat in it. It's a fat-free recipe. And what I've done is I've added that syrup to my my oatmeal. I've mixed it up quite well so that it's all covered. And then what I'm going to do now is put it on parchment-lined cookie sheets, and I'm going to bake this low and slow in the oven. So it bakes at 275 for about 45 minutes. And what that does is it dries out the granola and makes it nice and crunchy. So that's how easy it is to make granola. Way cheaper than when you buy it at the store, and really, really good.